Good afternoon to you, our dear esteemed viewers. Welcome back to this episode of the Youth Roundtable. My name is Douglas Onen, and this is Civic Space TV. Today's episode, we are getting into the Youth Manifesto of the aspirants of the Central Youth Member of Parliament for the year 2026 to 2031. And joining me in this very interesting conversation, as I've told you, I have aspirants from who intend to take up the position from here in Central Uganda. And I'll also have the honor to introduce them and then get straight into understanding the agenda they have for the young people here in Central Uganda, but also nationally as a whole. In no particular order, allow me go ahead and introduce my guests, but also give them the chance to say hello, and we get straight into understanding the agenda that they have for the young people. I'll begin from my extreme left, coming to my immediate left here, and I'll get straight into the conversation. From my extreme left, I'm joined by a gentleman who is running under the umbrella of the National Resistance Movement by the names of Alex-Kiwendo. You're most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You can say hello to the viewers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex-Kiwendo. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm contesting as the Youth MP Central Region. Well, I haven't put in the flag, but on Monday, then people will decide. Certainly, I'm getting the flag.
Definitely. We'll wish you good luck, and thank you for taking time to join us in this conversation. I know it's a very serious time for the aspirants going for the Youth MP in terms of structures, but also getting people to get that support, get the flag, and move on to the election. But thanks for sparing time. Right next to Mr. Alex, we're joined by a gentleman who is running under the umbrella of the National Unity Platform by the names of Kulabako Edward. You're most welcome, and say hello to the viewers.
Thank you. I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Kulabako Edward, from Chotela, also known as Echimuli Echimeze Munkokoto, contesting for Youth MP Central Region.
Yeah.
And right now we are under the primaries of the National Unity Platform, and we are many contestants, of course, for the party flag, but we pray that I take it to represent my party in that race.
Thank you, and thank you for sparing time, but also good luck when that time comes, and we wish you well. A face that we have been seeing in the activism arena has taken time to join the political space. Of course, I now you want to transition and transform your activism into the House of Parliament. He's running as an independent candidate for the position of Central Youth Member of Parliament. Mr. Makana Kennedy, you're most welcome, and say hello to the viewers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Drake. It's been a while. Thank you for hosting me again. Good afternoon, our fellow viewers. My name is Makana Kennedy Ndyamuhaki. I'm an activist, but now I'm running as Central Region Youth MP. And well, I already have my manifesto up. It's shared on a website at www.makanakennedy.online. So everything is there. You know, we're a digital generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, since we're the digital generation, and here we are to have the conversation about your manifesto and what exactly you have planned out for the young people. Now that you've mentioned it, let us understand what is the agenda that you have for the young people. From that, we shall be in position to interrogate and understand whether it's actually the right approach for the youth here in Central Region. Over to you.
Drake, my manifesto, I named my manifesto, and my slogan is Own Your Future. For quite a long time, we've been told that we are the leaders of tomorrow, but our tomorrow is today. That's why young people like I have come up beyond political parties to carry the vision of young people, because for so long, the Central Region has lacked leaders who can speak, who can stand on business. And you know, most times young people get shocked when they realize that they even have youth MPs, because the representation is not felt. So that's why I've come out, and you know, what I've done so far in the last 1 year speaks for itself, that I really stand for the young people, and I'll fight for the young people. For as long as I breathe, regardless of whether we win the seat or not, we shall be there for the young people, because at the end of the day, we need change. We need systems to be working. You know, Drake, it's very heartbreaking and disappointing to see that we have young people who are studying and completing education when their parents have invested a lot in them, but they end up with no jobs. I believe that since we're in a digital era, we can do more. We can, you know, the government with the consultation of youth MPs, they can set up innovation hubs We have a few like the Hive Collab that are offering co-working spaces for tech startups, but they are not enough. I feel like youth MPs, the youth seats can do a lot, but without the right representation, we shall still be where we are. And this is why I'm setting up. This is why I've come up. I've come to be the voice for the voiceless, and I've come to say that, hey, we are owning our future.
Okay, let's just allow me to interrogate you on the issue of course, you're saying you want to represent the ideas that of young people when it comes to employment opportunities, particularly in the tech space, and you want us to exploit the tech era that we are in. How feasible is that, and how do you intend to achieve that? In regards to, of course, the core role of a member of parliament with representation.
Drake, last year I was in Kenya, and I saw how their tech startups are thriving. One, their internet is very cheap.
Yeah.
And it's very disappointing that in this era, no youth MP from any region has brought up this issue that internet is very expensive for the young people. Because if you want to boost the technology startups, you have to start with internet. Internet must be cheap. And I believe that the role of MPs can do the thing. They can pass motions, you know, have a way, because we have the most expensive data in the region, in the East African region, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe that we can do more. We can do more. The government can, the way private institutions and private investors are setting up innovation hubs. Makerere University as an innovation hub, where you have young people come up with beautiful ideas, robotics. But all that is still something is still missing. And this is why I believe like that I can be the voice. I can take that message from the grassroots to the house.
To the house. So we're basically touched on issue of employment opportunities, which you're anchoring it on the avenue of exploring technology and using tech. And your solution there is, first of all, with your legislative role and representation, you're willing to advocate, one, for cheap internet, which will also help boost and look at having other avenues like innovation hubs. We shall get to that, but also interrogate further how we can achieve this and what other plans do you have in place. But let me get to you, Edward.
Yes.
What is your plan for the young people here in the Central Region?
Of course, I have many plans for the young people in this Central Region, but of course, I haven't finalized my manifesto due to the fact that because I'm under the party and the party hasn't launched the manifesto that we are going to follow from 2026 to 2031. But of course, there are some recognizable challenges of which we can formulate solutions to. So one of the biggest challenges our fellow youth are facing here in Central Region is the violation of human rights. Their rights have been violated by the government and associated agencies. So the rampant human violation cases here in Central Region. That's where we have to begin from. Because we can talk of employment opportunities, education for all, but the youth which we want to educate, they are rotting in prison.
But Edward,
Yes.
you're looking at, of course, ending the violation of human rights of these individuals.
Yes.
Have you asked yourself why the young people in Central Region oftentimes take their plight to the streets? Wouldn't it be proper to first solve the problems of unemployment, of people taking of issues of corruption? That is why people go to the streets.
When the issue of corruption, unemployment, and so on rise, and these people go to their streets, they are demonstrating their rights. But if you come up and arrest them, beat up them, kill them, you are violating their rights. So we have to first address the issue of rule of law. We have no one should be arrested for expressing his or her right. So if we can solve that, these people will get a chance to speak, and when they are given a chance to speak, their voices will be heard and they will get solutions.
So
because
how,
they know what can be done for them.
Let's say as a member of parliament, as a
Yes.
youth member of parliament,
Yes.
how will you be in position to achieve that? Because your roles as a member of parliament are anchored on, one, legislation, two,
Yes.
2, you're looking at representation. 3, you're looking at budget allocation, and you're looking at appropriation.
Appropriation.
Yes. So how will you link those roles to trying to end the violation of human rights? Because as we have told you,
linking those roles to that,
yeah.
I will use my platform as the Youth MP Central Region to inspire these people to speak for themselves, because they have been sold up by many people. Their politicians come up, tell them to give them their votes. When they reach parliament, they keep quiet. But if you inspire them, you tell them, you speak for yourselves. If these people come up jointly to speak up for themselves, they can achieve what they want. First of all, we should first attend to that issue of human rights violation. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge here in Central.
So you're basically going to focus on ending violation of human rights.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Alex,
Yes, sir.
we have listened into my brother Makana and Edward. Makana's manifesto anchors on a slogan of "Own Your Future," and my brother Edward, his major focus is on trying to end the violation of human rights here in Central Region, which has been predominantly something that we have seen in even various human rights reports, and that is what he thinks is the best solution for the young people in the Central Region. Let's get to you.
Yes,
what
sir.
is your plan for the young people here in the Central Region?
Well, I want to thank my colleagues. I've really had their ideas, and I believe, we understand that this position, one person gets it. Yeah. So whoever gets this position, we can all work together to see that we can improve the lives of the young people in Uganda. But however, I have a feeling we need leadership that is policy-based. We all have the ideas. We have the urge of helping the young people, what is happening in our nation. Yeah. But we are not policy-based. My colleague here can tell you there are some of the policies that even, well, I'll not go that side. But I believe we should have leadership that is policy-based with the young people. I want to let you know that here in Uganda, all countries have been benchmarking on leadership of Uganda as far as youth is concerned. We have the best youth structures here in Uganda. That where we don't even need a youth MP to be in parliament for us to have our services delivered, or to have whatever we need as young people in this nation to get whatever we want. If you can have leadership from the zone to the parish to the sub-county district, literally we don't need even to have a youth MP. But because we don't have the policies, but because we don't understand why we have such structures, that's we realize that we are coming up even to have MPs in parliament. I can assure you, if you realize that we are the biggest percentage of the young people in this nation, but we have 5 youth MPs in parliament, yet I would believe we are supposed to be the very many to represent, because we have the biggest population across the country. So we are 5 against 500. Even if the MPs would want to bring up something in parliament, what can they bring against those who are 500 that don't understand us? I don't know if you get my point.
Quantity.
Thank you so much. We are 78%, and we have been represented by only 5 for the 4 regions plus the national female. And now we are saying that we have the biggest issues across this nation. How are we going to do that? I believe we should first empower the youth structures from the zone level, so that we can think about the parliament. That's why I've come here literally to see that we can empower these youth structures. If we empower the youth structures, it's going to be easy for us even to do legislation in parliament, because I'm representing 78% of this nation. Even if we sit down with all the various youth MPs of different regions and we sit as the 5, we cannot deliver to the young people. Just realize that we come up with a lot of urge that everyone who goes in parliament as the youth MP, no one is satisfied that they have done their part. Because they go alone, they fight alone. We don't help them, yet we have the biggest structures. The entire Africa, just even in East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, they have benchmarked against our youth structures. Just here in African Union Youth Forum, they've been matching against Uganda because we have the best.
But if you have the best youth structures, then
Yes.
why are you looking at empowering these youth structures? What's the problem?
We have the best but not empowered. We have positions that we are not using. We don't know why we are here. I've been the chairperson of Nakawa division. For the entire 5 years, we didn't get any orientation, even from the National Youth Council, where Job Bayero has been. What do you know? We have come with the urge because we see there's something not right in our nation as the young people.
All right, Alex.
Yeah.
For a viewer who is watching,
Yeah.
who doesn't know these youth structures, how important are these youth structures, and what constitutes a youth structure, and why is it a necessity for them to be empowered to directly influence them or affect them as young people?
Well, maybe for starters, also maybe good to know the National Youth Policy of 2006. Whoever sat down and thought about this, they realized that we need representation right away from the village, because from the village, that's where the issues start from. As a young person who is at the village level, it's you who knows where your village is, why you don't have the drainage system, why you have poor health systems, why you have poor education systems, because it's me who knows in my village that there's no school. It's me who knows that in my village there's no hospital. It's me who knows that literally we have poor healthy facilities. Now, we go to youth structures. They consist of 9 people from the village. There are 9 positions at the village level. There are 9 positions at the parish level. There are 9 positions at the sub-county level. There are 9 positions at the district level. There are 9 positions at the national level. Because it's an electoral college, we believe from the village level, I can literally see what is wrong in my village. I can talk to my parish chairperson. They would sit, discuss about that as the parish committee. The parish committee would sit and realize, talk whatever they're supposed to talk. They get the best ideas. They get the solutions. They talk to the sub-county level. From the sub-county level, they talk to the district until the National Youth Council. Usually, the council meetings happen once in a year. If you believe once in a year, how can you discuss things of the entire year in just one day? How is that possible? Literally, we have structures that are not being used.
Yeah.
And I believe that comes into legislation. If I go to Parliament, I believe I would understand why we should empower this thing. This has to happen at least every quarter. Every 3 months, we have a council. Every 3 months, we have a council. We cannot discuss issues for the entire year in just 3 hours. And we believe we are representing the young people of this nation. Which policies can you derive from just 3 hours? What can you bring to the table to the young people that someone has an issue from the village level, they have issues at the parish level, and in the entire nation, we are going to discuss that. In the entire Uganda, 146 districts, we discuss them in 3 hours. How can that be?
All right. So having understood that, of course, you're looking at your approach is more on improving on the policy, and the policy you're looking at is, one, empowering the youth structures, but also seeing that we need to have an increase in the number of youth representation on the floor of Parliament.
Exactly.
5 members of Parliament is not enough to represent the ideas of all the young people in this country.
Yes, sir.
And that is the approach that you're looking at. But now let us look at the issues that we're facing as young people.
Yes.
One that I think all of us are going to talk about is the issue of employment, which I
Yeah.
think I would like to get all your opinions on that. And considering that, of course, the recent statistics show that the number of young people in this country is approximately 78%. And majority of the 78% are children who are also turning 18 almost every day. That being the case, unemployment is something that is traversing this country, and we have very many young people who are idle. What is the plan? What is your plan? Let's start with this, Alex. What is your plan on the issue of unemployment?
Thank you. Issue concerning unemployment. I believe we can tackle this in 3 ways. The time I've been in my campaign trail, which is done now, preparing just for the voting on 25th, I've been telling the young people, you know, I'm a student of President Museveni. I can assure you we have a man that we've not taken time to study. But if we do as the generation of this, our generation, we are going to gain a lot. You know, he brought up like an authority called PASAID. But literally, this is a Presidential Advisory Committee on Export and Development. You can imagine, we are always termed as lazy, we don't want to work. But I tell you, in Uganda, we really want to work. We are really hardworking. But you can imagine that we have things that we do as young people that don't have market. But the president saw that it was really important. There are things that young people can do from here and they get market across in the other nations. You know, international borders. We are crossing borders. But even it being there, who has taken the responsibility to give us that market? I'm a farmer. I do livestock. I rear goats. The first time I went to PASAID to see how they can help me, literally, it took me a process. I told, they asked me what I can provide. I told them I do rearing of goats. And do you know we have the biggest, China really wants goat's meat. But they asked me for 300 kgs and I couldn't provide. But you can ask yourself, really, you mean you can't get 300 kgs across the entire Uganda?
But Alex,
Yes.
PASAID is the Presidential Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and Industrial Development.
Exactly.
And to the best of my knowledge, PASAID is being headed by Mr.
Exactly. Odrek Rabogo. Yes.
And it's an entity that is interested in avenues that are doing value addition.
Yes.
Now my question is linked to the young people who,
Yes.
one, are experiencing challenges in getting access to capital.
Yes.
You are alive to the fact that the interest rates or even the borrowing rates, let me use that term, in banks are extremely exorbitant. Interest rates ranging from 18% and above.
Yeah.
Secondly, young people do not have what the banks request for in security.
Yes.
It's not you will not go to any bank and get an interest-free loan. Besides that, even government in the avenues such as the Youth Livelihood Fund, among other programs that are offering money, the money they're giving you is 1 million, 1.5, which is not enough to have that value added to the products that we want to export those items through PASAID.
Yes.
As a young person who is still yearning to get involved in the business world and they're having challenges to access capital, how do you intend to solve that? And how does this look at doing down with unemployment rates?
Do you know, as the we haven't even understood that there's power in cohesion. We haven't gotten that point. Why I was bringing you about the other point, I want to first bring history of the past to understand where we can get ourselves as young people.
Yeah.
We are working in solitude as individuals. As ourselves, we don't have cohesion. You know, we can look at two things that can really divide us than things that can get us together. If really I'm unemployed, is unemployed, I'm NRM is in NUP, don't you think we have something that can really join us than what can divide us? But because I'm NRM is NUP, we are going to fight each other. We are both unemployed. Yet we can get together, we solve that issue, then we can go forward. I'm coming. Let me come to that point.
Yeah.
But I want to first bring a little bit of history to come there. When President Civic was going into the war, they tell you in the mustard seed, they started with 27 guns to go to the war. 27 guns. By that time, he was a minister in a government. He sat on the Defense High Council in Uganda by then. Do you think going to the war, he literally talked to only 27 people to go to the war? Don't you think he had access to almost 1,000 people he could talk to, that they will go to the bush so that they can rebel against the entire government? But do you know only a few people understood his vision and they went with him to war? People like Ndyamuhaki-Independent, they were already students, senior 4, they left whatever they were doing, they went to the war. Like Regema, they understood there was something that was bigger than them being divided, and at least they would understand that if we really go to the war, we are going to change our country. They had friendship, they had comradeship, they had cohesion that pushed them to go to the war. Now that we have challenges that cut across the entire political parties, one, we should first do, what do you have that I don't have? What do I have that you don't have? That we can sit as young people, regardless of our races, regardless of our tribes, regardless of our religions, we sit to solve the first one thing that affects all of us. Then we can go into whatever that can divide us. But because we don't have that, even the small we have, we can't utilize it.
Okay.
There's PDM, there are programs like PDM. But if you realize PDM is being so much gained like people of NRM than other political parties. But this is a national program, regardless of political party. But instead of understanding that this program can help all of us, they're doing a protest vote even against government programs. We are enjoying as NRM youth, because we are enjoying, I'm missing an idea from a youth of another political party to guide me how can I use the 1 million. Because we are being divided. We talked about the YLP. All I'm talking about, this is having 2% interest. On 1 million, you put 2%, that's 20,000. That is a low interest rate.
Okay. Interesting. Let me just get to you, Edward. Thank you for your submissions in regards to how you intend to tackle the issue of unemployment in regards to Central Region, but also nationally as a whole. What's your response on the same? We have understood your idea is to, of course, end or your fight is against the violation of human rights. But also under the human rights, economic rights is something that young people ought to enjoy, and that means they have a right to work, they have a right to carry out business, to thrive. But at the moment we are facing the issue of unemployment, which affects or goes ahead or infringes one's ability to enjoy those economic rights. What are your solutions to the issue of unemployment?
So in order to solve that issue of unemployment, under our manifesto, we had that issue of, we had the triple A strategy: agriculture, art, and athletics. Agriculture is a very beautiful, wonderful, and huge sector which can accommodate a huge number of people, regardless of the age, though we are talking about the youth interests. So if we can only support agriculture as a sector, it can accommodate very many youth in this country, not only here in Central, but countrywide, to solve that issue of unemployment. There are another issue for then if we look at art. Art is also a very big sector that can be used to solve that issue of unemployment, because you know, actually, for artists, art, agriculture, and athletics, all of those, it's easy for someone to gain more money through being an artist, a farmer, or an athlete, without using any form of maybe any form of capital. The only capital one would want to be an athlete is talent. To be an artist is talent. Only that. If you can only be facilitated by the major and another influencing factor in that, and that is ICT, we can solve the issue of unemployment among the youth here in the Central Region.
Okay. Makana, unemployment. What's your solution?
You see, I'll disagree with my brother Alex. He spoke about PDM, he spoke about the Youth Livelihood Program, but we should narrow it down. How many people have access to these funds? And how do they use them? You see, just like you said, we have a generational mandate beyond political parties, beyond colors, beyond blue, beyond yellow, red, whatever it is. But we must evolve with the time. We are in a technological world. Things are changing, and there are people, for example, I'm not saying that agriculture is bad, but if someone preaches agriculture without, as the only way that we can get ourselves as young people out of poverty and unemployment, I really don't buy it. For so long, Genome 7 has been preaching the 4-acre model. Has it been working? No. Maybe old people, but for young people it's not working. Because times are changing. We are digital. I believe that, you see, and Drake and my fellow viewers, these are small things that can be handled.
Yeah.
It's all about the intention, the will to do so. Because if you have buildings, you set up buildings like dormitories, and you give each maybe a group of 5 people two chairs and a desk, and you're like, that is your capital plus Wi-Fi, that's enough. We have young people who are building startups, apps, agricultural apps. I need maybe livestock drugs, I can order and via an app, and they are brought. I can build irrigation systems. So I believe that technology is the answer. But the government, unfortunately, and our representatives that we have as young people, they are not doing the needful. And he spoke about numbers, that we are, as young people, we are at a disadvantage. We are 5 and against 500, which is true. But all we are asking for, and this is a conversation that I've been telling one of my friends in Parliament, that as young people, what we are asking for is the bare minimum. Just give us the bare minimum. At least come out and speak and talk about it, and let history judge you. We shall be like, you know, so and so talked about, address this issue. Let the systems just fail to implement it. But none of them is doing that.
Unfortunately. So what is your solution for you? After rebutting to...
I believe that the only way that we can come out of unemployment is by building tech hubs. Set up tech hubs, regional tech hubs. Imagine you're having a building that can host, can cover like 1,000 people in groups of 5. That means that a student who's coming out of Makana, an agriculturalist and a programmer, they'll form a group. That means an agriculturalist has a job, you also have a job. You're going to build amazing products.
So how about people or young people who are not interested in tech or agriculture?
You see, that's why I'm saying he's into livestock. You're into livestock.
Yeah.
You rear goats,
Yeah.
right? You might not be into tech,
Yeah.
but you need tech in your field.
Yeah.
That's where you come in. You can connect. He needs 300 kilograms of beef, right? You cannot. You don't know. You don't have anybody on your speed dial. But if you connect with Drake that deals in technology, and Drake comes up with an app that can connect every goat breeder in the country, he has solved your problem.
Yeah, he has. But now the question still stands. What about that young person
who
is neither tech savvy, nor into agriculture, or into agribusiness? They're possibly interested in other things that are not entirely tech related or agriculture related.
I believe that's where the youth livelihood program comes in.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about access. Many of these young people, I don't know, I haven't had anybody in my circle has got that money.
That's why I'm saying that's what we are supposed to improve. The programs are there. Access to them is the problem. That we have to improve already that, because whatever is in existence right now is really good, you know, to eradicate unemployment. But how to get there? That's what we're supposed to improve on those programs.
Alex.
Yes.
This question is going to go to you, not as an aspirant,
Yeah.
but as a member of the National Resistance Movement.
Yes.
Your party has been in power for over 30 years.
Yes.
And being in power for over 30 years, you have access to the state resources.
Yes.
And in having access to the state resources, why haven't you had the political will to see that these programs are properly implemented and every young people or every young person is positively affected?
Now the question is, you would ask, how have these programs been? How many years have they been in existence? You're going to realize by the time I joined youth politics, with a few colleagues, that's when the things have started being in existence. We realized there was a gap. We sat with a few young people. For example, a yoga program. We were 9 in this nation that started that program. They don't realize that whatever is coming from the young people, it's the young people themselves that who have come up to think about these things. PDM, there's been the young people who thought about this. If you talk about the 40 years in NRM being in power, you're also putting us to be around 40 years. I'm not 40. You understand?
No. Don't misquote me.
Yes.
When I say I'm asking as a member of the National Resistance Movement and you're part of the party,
Yeah.
that means you ideally contribute to the party.
Exactly.
Even when you're possibly 20 plus years old,
Yes.
you have at least gained some sense of and have been in the party for close to 6-7 years.
Exactly.
Now, what is your contribution? What have you guys done to push that you see that the older generation and the party positively let the young people benefit from this program?
It's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
These programs have not been in existence, but you put them into existence.
So what is the problem if the programs are in existence?
Now,
why is the implementation having a challenge?
Thank you. The problem is not implementation, but right now they are still limited resources that want to improve.
Okay.
For example, a PDM, they are given 30% per parish. Want to say at least we have 70%, the money to be increased. Access, so that we can have bigger access to the young people.
All right.
A moment. We're talking about YLP. YLP is being given to 5 people. You understand? Not at least in a year. At least like 100 groups to get in a particular parish. You understand? 5 people, 100 groups. We are increasing on access on this. So all we need is adding our voice to add more funds, more access, and so that everyone can, at least a bigger number of people can do what?
Can access.
Can access this.
All right, let me hold you there.
Drake, you see, he speaks about limited resources, which I disagree with. The government has resources everywhere. Recently, a certain member of parliament held a function that she spent 750 million in just a single day event. So you cannot tell us, actually,
on personal funds, government funds.
Government funds. Because you cannot tell me that a speaker has personal funds from where?
But she's a business lady. I don't want to go on here.
You see,
let us not discuss an individual.
Exactly.
She's not here to
no,
do
but
that.
I'm giving a picture of the government.
I want facts.
Yeah, I'm giving a picture of the government.
I want to respond to my brother.
Yeah.
You know, you have been talking about different economic policies brought up by this government. But at least for me, I come from Chotela. We have the Minister for Microfinance. And when you talk about Myoga, at least when I think about Emyoga, I just come up to a conclusion that the NRM hasn't just failed, but it was designed to fail.
What does that mean? That the NRM has not failed, but it was designed to fail?
It was designed to fail. It's not a surprise that they have failed to perform. It itself was designed to what? To fail. Because
how so? Because,
at least
how so? Because the NRM party, as NRA then, now the NRM party or the movement.
Yes, the NRA.
They have at least significantly achieved some achievements over the years. Now, why is it that at this point they are on a trajectory of decline?
Well,
so how does that relate to the statement?
Maybe for you they had some registered achievements, but for me I don't see them. But what I wanted to tell you is that at least Chotera would be the model district on the performance of the Myoga programs. But you know, it had to be implemented. When it was designed, it had to be implemented by the LC5 chairpersons. So, but in our district, because it was brought when we are approaching the 2021 elections, the minister himself left what he had to do, the other ministerial duties. By that time he was the area member of parliament, Chotera County, and they went to own the program. So he owned the program as his personal program. He used it for his personal campaigns.
To get
so it was only the money which was meant for Emyoga circles was only given to his supporters, his family, and his friends.
Oh, so that is why you make the statement.
Totally. Even that's what even the office of the program, the prime minister is doing with the PDM.
Yeah.
It's being gained by the NRM people only. Those are generally government programs which are designed to benefit each and everyone.
All right.
So, but because of their system was designed to fail, that's what they are doing.
All right. So first wait. Something we need to understand. The point that Edward is trying to put out, that the NRM party, in its design, the programs that are meant for each and every Ugandan, irrespective of your political party. The Constitution provides that in implementing government programs and projects, irrespective of your size, of your sex, of your political affiliation, everyone needs to benefit. The example that he gives us in Chotera, the minister that comes from his particular constituency, used his words, his assertion, that used the resources to only benefit his supporters, and the rest of the constituency were left out. Now the question is, how many more of the individuals from the NRM are using resources meant to benefit Ugandans to only benefit a few because they want to score political points?
Drake, first of all, I want to thank my honorable comrades here.
Yeah.
At least now they are really attesting that the programs are there. At least that's what I've realized.
But then,
that's what I'm coming. At least now they know the programs are what?
Are there.
In the beginning, I told you, what's failing us young people is cohesion. That we look at things that really divide us than that bring us together.
Yeah.
I think right now the point of Honorable Edward would be, how do we improve an Emyoga program than seeing it as it's for only NRM? As I told you earlier, that right now what we're supposed to improve these programs so that everyone can access them regardless of the political parties. But what they do, every program that comes, they want to put a protest vote on it. They want to protest on that. Every program. That even if you want to see the good in it, they cannot. Because they're being blindfolded by probably their political party. Probably.
We are not being blindfolded.
So what I'm telling you, in the beginning, I told you.
Those programs were designed for you only. Yet they had to.
Did they say that in the beginning? That you got to realize that almost all programs, it's only elements that are doing what? Gaining from this.
You go to different parishes and see. You go to different. You know, even the PDM was designed at the parish level. It's managed by the NRM chairperson. Do you know that? So even that's the errors they are making in their policies.
I think that
you know, where did the government?
All right, guys, let's hold there.
Where did the government get that get the idea that the NRM chairperson of LSC2 chairperson has to sign for
the NRM chairperson.
Has to sign for each and everyone who is going. No, it's NRM LSC2 chairperson. Has to sign for everyone who is going to gain on the PDM.
All right, Edward.
Honorable.
Alex,
No.
order, please, order. The thing is, let's first go for a short break. I know it's a very heated debate on the issue of employment and the solutions we have. We have just only covered one issue, and you're seeing the issues, you're seeing the challenges that we're experiencing. But as young people, I want us to also first be objective, ascertain and accept the reality the way it is. We don't need to be like the elders. The elders, we don't need to learn the bad habits. We need to, obviously, objectively ascertain the issues at hand. But nonetheless, thank you very much, first of all, for the very interesting half of the debate. As we go into the break, let us think. Besides unemployment that we're experiencing as a generation, the issues that relate to quality of education is something that I want us to tackle. What solutions do we have? Because Central Region as a whole has majority of the schools that scores highly. So how are we going to improve on that as Central Region, but also see with the roles as a member of parliament, a youth member of parliament, have this quality education spurs the close all the other regions? Something you need to think about. Otherwise, thank you very much, Alex, Edward, and Kennedy for this interesting half of the show. I know you have burning points down, but let's go for a break. See you in a bit.
Digital rights are those human rights and legal rights that allow individuals to access, use, create, and publish digital media or to access and use computers, other electronic devices, and telecommunication networks. Digital rights include a right to freedom of expression, information and communication through technology, a right to privacy and data protection, a right to credit for personal works, a right to universal and equal digital access, a right to identity, a right to anonymity, a right to be forgotten, and a right for protection of minors, among others. The state's digital rights are frequently violated through various unfair actions, for example, blockage of websites and social networks, theft of credentials, unauthorized use of people's data for personal gain, privacy intrusion, online censorship, arrests and intimidation of online users, internet blockages, and the proliferation of laws and regulations that undermine the potential of technology to drive social, economic, and political development worldwide. It is hence every citizen's responsibility to respect rights of other digital users and to speak out or report to the responsible parties when one's rights are violated.
Action. Welcome back from the break. Just before we went into the break, we of course had the privilege of understanding the intentions that my guests in the studio today have for the young people here in the Central Region. But also we then get to understand the solutions they have for overriding challenges such as unemployment. And it was a heated debate, a very contested one, and we even didn't have the chance to conclude on that. But let's just wind up on that issue as we progress on other areas that I think it's very critical for this debate. I'm just going to give all of you 60 seconds to wind up on the issue of unemployment that we are facing here in Central Region, but across the country as well. I'll start with you, Kennedy. Wind up on that point.
Just like my brother, Honorable Alex, has said, we have systems, but they don't work. And the whole system is rigged. We have a failed system right from the top of the head. So I believe that if we are to change the things, if we are to work on the issue of unemployment, we should start by voting leaders, not because they belong to a certain political party, but because of what they'll offer. We should move out from the Chigati
mindset.
Yeah, that every time you have to give bread for you to be voted. If we want things to change, otherwise we shall keep on wailing and wailing about youth unemployment, yet it's all our fault. Yeah. I still emphasize and say that we need to evolve digitally if we are to fix some of these, to fix youth employment and come up with technological hubs, innovation hubs here and there.
Yeah. Thank you. Edward, 60 seconds.
You know, in NUP we believe in service as our 60 value. So whichever we say, we have to implement it when we get power. So when I was talking about the AAA program, I talked about athletics. We have a challenge here in Uganda. we usually perform very well in netball when it comes to international stages, very well. But unfortunately, how are we performing? How is our netball league here in Uganda performing? Don't you think that we have to invest in that netball game so that we can
absorb young people who are talented,
very many young people from every corner of Uganda, because we can easily take very many athletes on the international stage using netball, and we can gain much as a country through not only through netball but tourism and so on, using athletics. So athletics can work to solve that the problem of unemployment here in the Central Region.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drake. On that issue, allow me to thank really the president of this nation, that almost whatever my colleagues have talked about, the president has tried to put into place, but we need to have the right implementation methods. We need to see how we can develop on them. I can assure you the president of the principal of NUP, much as is going for presidential bid, is an artist, which means they were given a free space to develop the talent here in this nation. I can assure you, there has been the Federation of the Musicians in Uganda, that the government has imposed a lot of money on them. In fact, it is imposing on them billions to develop their talent. I can assure you now you're seeing stadiums being developed around the nation. Literally, the president is touching every sector for the young people. But all I'm saying is, let's get together, regardless of where we are standing, regardless of everyone. Let's have one voice on improvement on all this. He has tried touching into the sports sector, talent search, agriculture, tech, where he's putting a lot of emphasis, almost everything. Yeah. But because we are blindfolded onto what is bad, not onto how we can develop onto what is good, that's why we're having this kind of issues. So I believe the government has already tried to see that to eradicate unemployment. But the problem is who implements. How can we do? As the young people, how can we help ourselves to add into the voice of implementation? Otherwise, if we do that, we have the kind of cohesion, this will be gone away.
All right, thank you. Education is something that needs conversation, and reports have shown that we have seen, of course, high rates of dropout for people who are people entering primary school. By the time they reach primary 7, there's high rates of dropout, but also we are seeing people not successfully completing education due to various reasons, but most importantly, education being expensive and education being considered as a community. Central Region has been blessed with a plethora of institutions which are very good. Unlike other regions, Central Region has majority of the institutions that perform highly in Uganda National Examination Board annually, but also it is blessed to have most of the institutions, tertiary institutions I must say. That is Makerere University, Chambogo University, among other institutions, including private universities like Uganda Christian University, you have Uganda Matters University, among other institutions. Now, that being said, education is an area that, as young people, if you do not talk about it, because as aspirants of the Central Region Youth Member of Parliament, you will be charged with the responsibility of representing the views of the young people, both youth and children. You will be charged with the responsibility of legislating for the young people. You will be charged with the responsibility of budgetary appropriation or allocation when it comes to education, something that you all need to fight for. I'll start with you, Kennedy. First of all, what is your take on the quality of education in this country? What do you intend to do to improve it, not only to go higher, but also reduce the idea that education is considered a commodity and not a service to Ugandans?
Drake, it's very saddening and heartbreaking to see that our education no longer has substance, especially the education in this country. Recently, I was on TikTok and I viewed a video of a girl. She had brilliant points, but she said at the end of the video that in terms of made with all the, with the high quality education that she has. Drake, we need to move away from this culture of writing a lot of notes. I meet every morning when I'm moving out, I meet young girls and boys who are carrying bags full of books. The bag is even heavier than the kid You know, you really feel like it's very big,
Yeah.
but it's full of notes. Notes, and yet out here things are totally different. It's not about what you're writing. It's all about what you can do, what you have in the head. Can you make such a table? Which our Ministry of Education and Sports is not doing. I feel like we need to move out of the classroom. Yes, let the young people write notes, but let us do more. Let us explore the skills and talents of these young people. Just like my brothers talked recently here about the sports. And I believe that when I go to Parliament, I'll try to bring this motion on table and see how do we move out of the classroom and out here, because we have very many skilled and brilliant young people, but they are locked in classrooms. So if you move out, if you travel abroad in other different countries, you realize that their education systems, they're not too rigged into classrooms like we are. We like writing a lot, and yet what we are writing out here doesn't make sense. 90% of it doesn't make sense. And you see, education and unemployment, they are linked, because you realize that most young people who are unemployed, they are graduates, you know, with brilliant with good GPAs. But we really need to change our education system, Drake.
All right. Edward.
First of all, my brother, Kenneth, you have said that you go to the Parliament and legislate, bring and make sure that the policy changes. But concerning education, of course, everyone knows who the Minister of Education and Sports is, and that's the First Lady. So, depending on the impunity in this country, they will not allow you to change everything that is not in their interest. Because, of course, we have seen very many good laws have failed to pass in the Parliament because they are not in favor of the government. So, to be sincere, to have practical solutions for unemployment, for practical solutions to improve the education sector, we have to change the system, we have to change the government, and that's all. So in my submission, the good thing is I'm a teacher. I teach history, but also I teach ICT. So to be sincere, when I was doing research, my topic was based on how we can use ICT to improve education. And here I come to submit. So depending on what I got from the field, there are some policies which have been employed, like the Zoom classes, because someone can be, for example, here in Central Region, we have better schools and maybe better teachers. Especially here in the urban areas in Kampala, for example, someone might be a teacher at the VDSS, but he can conduct a lesson for a certain school in the village using Zoom lessons. But that can't be easily achieved minus the government support to facilitate that process, because you might find certain schools, because for a student to learn, there must be conducive environment. But when you go to a northern region, eastern region, and see the conditions in which those schools are, but leaving that, a teacher can be here at Irubiri and conduct a lesson for a certain school in Kitigumu, if at all the government facilitates and provides the equipment with those schools in those areas. So because normally that happens for schools which have good relations in terms of the administrations, right? So at least we can improve the quality of education in other regions to reach the standard of Central Region by the support of ICT. It's only through ICT we can achieve that, because the government has failed to construct structures in those regions, because practically when you reach on the ground and see the situation in which those facilities are, the school facilities, you of course wonder how these people managed to rule this country for over 40 years when they can't even invest in education.
All right.
So before, you have said that here in the central region maybe we are performing well, better than other regions. You might be right, but depending on the primary living examinations which were released this year, Western region performed better than the central region, and I really wonder why. How did that come? Why? And still that I still have that question in my head. Why did the Western region the previous year performed better than the central region?
But averagely over the years it has been.
It has been.
But of course, let's just hold it there. Alex.
Thank you, Drake. At the last time I remember, my comrade here told me he's coming from Chota.
Yes.
And he's on this point speaking good English. You understand?
Yeah.
And he's from Central Region. Honestly, you should first appreciate that even before talking about any other region, because he's here.
Do you know where I started from? Do you know where I started from?
But well, let's abide that way. But well, I believe we should put more emphasis onto activities, the tertiary, vocational, and technical, institutes around. In regard to your field, if you're in sports, can we have really vocationals that are really based onto sports? If you're in ICT, can we have really vocationals institutes that are based into ICT? If you're in any kind of field, can we establish such things that basically attaching with that particular field, that we have expertise into that, that if we put an ICT hub, we have expertise in ICT, in technology. We don't have people who are meandering around. I can do ICT, I also teach agriculture, I also teach this. We have people specifically in that same field. I believe we are going to improve our kind of education. We should also do review programs. We should also do benchmarks with other countries. We can't have an education that benefits us just here in our borders only. We should have an education that cuts across what is done in Kenya, what is done in Tanzania. How can we do that? When I study in Uganda, I can get employment outside Kenya. If I'm studying in Uganda, can I do the same thing in USA? I think that's what we need right now. We put into that field. If we do that, we are good to go.
All right.
Drake, he spoke about TVETs, right? But you see, I've been late last year we did civic education, and we moved around the whole country. But you reach a primary school and you really wonder, people are studying under trees. So before we reach our TVETs institutions, can we fix primary schools? Can we fix, because that is the foundation. You're going to have a kid who can barely make a statement in a TVETs. We need to communicate. Institutions, you need to communicate. So, and this is something that is really from the top, and I believe he said that it's because of the Minister of Education. But I think it's more than that. It's bigger than her, because you realize right now a Form 6 student who has performed at arts cannot do sciences. But when you move out of Uganda, you can pursue sciences. You can become a nurse, you can become a doctor. But it's impossible. We need to benchmark. We need to, just like he said, we need to learn. We need to evolve, move with how the world is running. We need to come out of the closets.
We've been joined by another aspirant from the umbrella of the National Resistance Movement, Mr. Kangave, Ignatius Musasizi. You're most welcome. And as you introduce yourself, just go ahead, as all the other panelists had the chance to tell us, one, about the plans in terms, the manifesto, the plans they have for the youth here in the Central Region. But also, as you give us your manifesto, we had interrogated an issue that is overriding not only the Central Region, but across board, in regards to unemployment of the young people, but then also talk about the quality of education. You have 4 to 5 minutes to make your case, sir.
Well, thank you, Drake. The viewers, or the listeners, and then my fellow panelists from different parties and political affiliations, a good morning. Ignatius Kangave is my name, like earlier introduced, from Nakaseke district. However, I'm seeking the mandate of representing my fellow youth leaders from around Central Region. Basically, we've actually run a practical manifesto, but like I was guided I'm trying to look at one. I'll first talk about the slogan that I am using with my team, which is inclusion in diversity, because we believe that in everything that we are doing, we are trying to include the youth regardless of their diversities. Because that is like the very first point that we need to consider, given the fact that we have different beliefs, we come from different backgrounds, people that were raised from the villages and then ones that were raised from urban areas, when it comes to beliefs, when it comes to political affiliation, when it comes to religion, and then we move on to the various things that make up our lives, of which also the personal principles being included. And then from that side, we're looking at political inclusion, because as the youth, there is a very big challenge that we face, since I think as the youth, we or some of us have not yet gained the confidence that they can actually do something great when it comes to the leadership of the country. I am coming up to put up measures that can empower these the young leaders, the students, the leaders of tomorrow, like it has always done. I mean, like it has always been said. Because I believe we have to be mentors. We have to do great things so that these other young people, the young children, can look at us in order to be able to be great people in the country. When we look at unemployment as something that has, I believe, my fellow panelists have been talking about it, at a point when 77% of the country's population is the youth, I believe we ought to be, empowered when it comes to employment. I'm looking at a time when the youth are not going to be looked at because of the age. It's not going to be the narrative of perhaps someone reaching or clocking the age of 40 to matter. But then in our youthful ages, we as well need to matter. We have to, perhaps be engaged in different organizations, different organizations due to merit, not perhaps, the different things that can come in. So coming to unemployment, I have expertise in different organizations. I've been able to work with different non-government organizations. As a person that has a great work record, I believe I can surely, as well liaise with my fellow colleagues in these different organizations, so that we can as well put up opportunities more to the young people. I can still liaise with them to show them that we can be entrusted with the various big roles instead of, clocking 40 in order to matter. I'm looking at that as well. The different organizations I believe that we have in the country can really be based on for the youth empowerment, and more so when it comes to the, to the point of unemployment. I champion that, and I believe it can surely work out. The fact that in my various leadership positions, I have been able to at least lobby for, lobby in the various sectors. We look at economic empowerment. As our forefathers, if I may say, one of my grandfathers, the late Musasizi, may he so rest in peace. These citizens fought against colonialism, but then currently the biggest war or the biggest challenge we are as well fighting as the youth is the point of economic empowerment. We lack something in our pockets. The struggle, the war is in our pockets. What are we going to do when it comes to that? And then when we look at a country where the youth make up the biggest percentage, the fact that I believe, or my vision is rooted in the timeless truth that there is no nation that can thrive or that can develop when its youth are not part of the development agenda. So I believe there is more to this. We really need to come together as the different bodies, the different government agencies, to put the youth on table so that we can champion a generational mandate.
Okay.
We are not only going to be weakened to having political or some handouts and that, but then we can do more as the youth. We need that trust when it comes to the big men, when it comes to the elders. So these are some of the points that I am trying to look at when I am entrusted with the position of Youth Member of Parliament come 2026, 2031, but then it still comes back to the party. Drake, as I told you that I'm in the NRM, we're going to be having
Your
party
primaries next week on Monday.
Yeah, sure. On 25th, and we shall be at the Kulabako Independence grounds. So I humbly request my fellow youth leaders in the various districts to please rally behind me so that we can champion a generational mandate.
All right.
Maybe adding to that, with the point I brought in the first place, I have personally run a practical manifesto because in all the 32 districts that make up Central Region, I have been there. I have empowered their circles. I have taken various things to, as startup, as, to show these different leaders that it is not only going to be words. It is not only going to be us come to you, tell you great stuff, that maybe if I told you entrust us with the positions, we might not come back. But we've started projects in the various districts. Every district has gotten jerseys, every district has gotten balls, circles have been empowered, sewing machines have been given to every district, first aid kits with startup, the stuff that can be used for startup. So I believe I am the best candidate for this position. Fellow leaders and the youth out there, please rally behind me because I am looking at something great in Central Region and the country.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ignatius. Having understood the plan that you have, of course, you're riding under the slogan of inclusion in diversity. Gentlemen, as we age, of course, we're almost running out of time, but I would like us to talk about something that is very critical as well, and something that my brother Kennedy highlights in his manifesto, but also we talk about agriculture. He also talk about the AAA, which has agriculture as part of it. Two things: technology, which is very fundamental in our day and age, and agriculture, which feeds which of course generates income in our country. As young people, these are areas that are very important to us. Technology is crucial in that we are in a fourth industrial revolution, and the fourth industrial revolution rotates around tech. That means, of course, we have right now artificial intelligence among others. And as a generation, and as aspirants of a Central Youth Member of Parliament, with your roles stemming from legislation, representation, oversight, and budget appropriation, what plans would you have in regards to tech vis-a-vis agriculture, and how can we have these two sectors, which are critical in the fourth industrial revolution, harnessed and improved further? I'll begin with you, Ignatius, as I move to the extreme end with Alex, in just 60 seconds.
Well, thank you, Drake, and to the listeners or the viewers. As a student of computer science, when it comes to technology, I still will first reflect back on my leadership position as I was group president back in 2020 through 2024 at Nkumba University, I lobbied for my fellow students in the various hostels around internet with a company called Reni. So when it comes to technology and then merging it with agriculture, I believe these are things that can really be worked on so very well. Considering technology as a student of computer science, I told you that given my previous projects that have been implemented, we can always work out ways of how we can engage these the different youth. You know, the youth, the biggest percentage of youth would love to at least access mobile phones, different technology, the different gadgets. I cannot say that I will basically do it, but then through lobbying, different companies out there would like to engage with the biggest population of the people in Uganda. We can as well sit down on a round table and then we come up with these different engagements that even a person deep down in my home village, that is Timuna village in Nakaseke, can as well be there regardless of when it comes to agriculture, the road, the infrastructure development of the roads, that someone can take long to access the city, someone can take long to get, like I told you, that the biggest challenge we have as youth is the money. We're not empowered economically. The fact that they can't access perhaps some little money to access the markets in the town areas or big centers or big cities, they can as well use these various funds at a cheaper price to actually be able to get big people that can, that can support them in the various sectors. So I believe that can surely be worked out.
All right. Kennedy, that is something that you champion in your slogan, Own Your Future. You're looking at tech. You have, of course, I'm now bringing the aspect of agriculture and agribusiness, which I think is very critical for the young generation to be interested in that conversation. Technology, you've been advocating, of course, that with your legislative and representation role, you'd advocate for cheap internet. But now I want us to create a nexus, agriculture as well. Earlier on, you gave us an example. But broadly, Central Region is a hub. The Central Region is the area where we, of course, it's the core of our economy. So as the youth member of parliament hailing from Central Region, you have a very huge burden and responsibility, because this is a region that harbors almost everyone from across the country. So what plans do you have?
When the Coffee Amendment Bill was brought on the floor of the Parliament, I was among the people that were against establishment of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority. And months down the road, we are seeing what is happening with coffee. To date, some MPs are regretting why UCDA was scrapped off. And I believe that I'll champion for independent entities. Just like he spoke earlier about Pasaid. Pasaid ain't really into livestock as such, but they're more into coffee. They export coffee more than any other produce. So I believe that we need independent, because you see the Ministry of Agriculture is broad. It can't handle every product. But if we have independent entities that are handling each product at a go, you, for example, you have UCDA handling coffee. Yeah. That means you're bringing in more value than, having files all over the Ministry of Agriculture that has fisheries here, every corner. So I believe that agriculture, as we bring in the agriculture question, we should integrate it with technology. I'll keep on emphasizing that, because that's how the world is moving. You cannot say that you're going to keep on the 4-acre model and you're leaving technology aside. These two things should be moving hand in hand. So as we are saying that my brother here with his livestock, goat breeding, he needs to add in that touch. If you want to see more value come up, you need to come up with an app that can connect all goat breeders, so that when you go to Pasaid and they ask you for 300 kilograms, you can connect You can contact everybody, every goat breeder in the country to come up together. Cohesion, what you spoke about, cohesion, unity beyond political parties. That is how we are going to achieve it. And you know, the thing is bigger, whereby this whole agriculture topic, it will bring us to the generational mandate beyond political parties. So that is how we can drive that.
Edward, your response to that?
Good enough that I'm also an agriculturist. I practice agriculture. But the problem we have here in Uganda, basically, about agriculture, is the price fluctuation. Today you will find that the price of a certain commodity will be high and tomorrow it will be low. And when the price of a certain commodity is high, for example, let's say passion fruits, when the prices are high, the farmers get problems in purchasing the herbs to look after those those crops. But in the end, you will find that that by the time they harvest, the prices will be low. So price fluctuation has been a great problem to the agriculturists. So I think we should have put measures to control the price of of every commodity, so that even if it goes low, it shouldn't exceed a certain price, because farmers face that problem, and it's we majorly the youth who use our energy, who use our monies which we get through loans to go and practice agriculture. And in the end, where we get losses, and you will find that that's why most of the youth are in prisons, because they have failed to pay those loans because of price fluctuations. So I think the government should look in that. And I want to tell you, for example, if you look at vanilla, coffee, and other profitable crops, they were maybe, how can I call it? They were put under under specific companies which belong to different people, especially those who belong to the first family. They are the ones who are responsible to export those goods. That's bad. Everyone should be allowed to
engage and
engage and export. So that everyone gets that chance to enjoy the profits in exporting those crops.
Commodities. All right.
So I think but as I told you as I was beginning, the system is not failing because of certain reasons, but it was designed to fail. So in order to achieve anything that is good for the youth, we have to remove this government. Sure.
Okay. But in case you fail,
we can't fail this time. Under the protest vote, we have to remove this government. Sure.
All right, Alex.
Thank you, Drake. I really like being around young people because we have the urge, we have the ideas, we have everything. And well, to make it clear, as my comrade had talked about, per se literally does everything as long as we can export out of this nation. Not only livestock, not only farming, even ICT. If you can have guys who can have anything that other countries don't have and who can export it, we can do that. No, just to make it clear for that.
I didn't say that in every sector, but there are differently more profitable crops, like vanilla and coffee, especially.
But well, I'm not part of the first family, but at least Pased has helped me somehow. But I'm not part of the first family, not even being connected. I'm a man from Central Region. I'm a Muganda. From here, we go here. You understand? My dad has been a soldier in this army of this nation. Not anywhere close to the first family, but I've just gained from Pased. To make it clear, as I told you earlier, before I go to that point, young people, we are blinded. We always see the bad.
The army is the state.
No, but anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No. You can reserve.
Anyway, as we wind up.
Well, I believe how can you connect technology and agriculture? If you can have enhancement of efficiency of technology into agriculture, if you can do sustainability, productivity. The issue is, you see, we have smartphones, but even much as young people have smartphones, you may find the functionality of them, usually 2% is used. They can go to WhatsApp, they can do it, it's done. But a lot of function is being done. You know why I really want technology, but why I don't emphasize on it so much, we need to study it a lot. Right now, every young person who is starting up something, they're doing apps. How can you connect this to this? They're talking about apps. But this is beyond it. If I'm in good breeding, probably, can someone here in Uganda not copy technology from America? Because we have different demographies here. What happens in Uganda doesn't happen in any other country. I want to know, according to the breeds we do in Uganda, what can we develop? Which kind of machine can we do it? Probably, if it's plowing off the far, how can that be that? Feeding, prototype here in our nation. But even as young people, we don't want to think. If they're thinking, it's taking real a lot. You may find someone else first, do Google search, probably AI, to know what is happening there, which is okay, you can benchmark. But I want something original, something like a young person from Uganda that's not from their mind, not anywhere. We haven't seen that. If we do that, it's going to be easy to connect tech and agree here in our nation, according to what we do, our vanilla. Because up to now, agriculture is the backbone of Uganda. But how can we connect to that? How can we really do it? I believe for us to see that technology can help in agriculture is being original.
Okay.
Not to copy the farming done in America, to bring their tech to our nation here. What can a young person do according to what we grow, according to what we wear, according to the breeds we have, according to the soils we have? Which kind of technology can we use? That needs a person who has grown up from Uganda, who does farming here in Uganda, and can help. If he's in tech, can I sit with him and tell him this kind of soil we are doing here? What can you build originally, not copied from anywhere? I think that's going to help us even to sustain what we already have. But we bring technology from outside, can't even sustain our farming here.
But you're alive to the fact that information sharing and technology is something that people learn. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. In 30 seconds, your concluding remarks.
Yeah.
And that applies to all of you. 30 seconds.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Drake. I'm so happy. It's my first time being here. And I always like being around young people. I always like discussing about issues concerning us young people. I'm so glad I've met my comrades. They're really great brains here. I'm glad. But well, I can assure you, if we stop monetarizing all politics, we are going to fail to get good leaders. We enter an election where someone is spending billions of money. You can imagine a person like me at my age, where can I get that money really? Even when God has blessed you so much, you can think about that. You can imagine that. We get bad leaders because someone is being funded to come here, get money. Right now in youth politics, they tell you, do you have money? You can win. They don't consider ideas. They don't consider this, but I can assure you this, much as money is there, I know you understand you're not well in your pockets, kind of. Get the money. Choose the right person. Choose Kiwendo Alex. Come 25th, the youth of NRM. I'm the right leader to go to Parliament to represent you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck. Edward.
Thank you, Brother Drake, for hosting us. Of course, it has been a good show. I've enjoyed. I think you will again host us next time. Maybe,
definitely.
After we have gotten our flags for different political parties.
Yeah.
But of course, I want to encourage young people to work hard. Though there are certain issues that can't allow us to excel as we would like to be, but at least to try and start up something. Again, I will call upon every Ugandan to join us in this protest vote so that we can remove this government through protesting against it through voting the right people. You remember on the Kabaka's birthday, Kabaka's third coronation, he implored that we should not vote for what he called the obunyebwa. So watch those people who are giving you obunyebwa, but you don't vote for them. Vote for the right people. Vote for NUP, because in NUP we believe in service.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Protest vote stand.
Yes.
All right. Makana.
Drake, and to the whole Civic Space team, thank you very much for always making me feel home. And to fellow young people, this is the time. This is our future that they've been telling us all these years. And this is the time to vote beyond political colors. And this is the time to choose our generational mandate. The time is now, and we need representation. We don't need Leaders will keep quiet and enjoy the 5 years. This is our time and we must utilize it. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you, Ike Musazi.
Well, I also thank Drake for this time, and then the management of Civic Space TV for perhaps a great opportunity that you offered to me to be part of the panelists today. As Ignatius Kangave Msazi, I, in the first place, thank the Lord for keeping me till this day, because as a leader and in this very journey that I chose to take, it's really been lots of challenges. But then I am grateful that even today I can sit here. You know, it's been my first time to be here. I never take it for granted. I thank all the youth leaders in the various districts that we have traversed around Buganda region. You guys have really been great. Thank you so much. I pray that the reception that you gave me remains the same reception that I will as well receive come the 25th of August this very month at the Korodo Independence Ground. I thank the team that I have traversed Buganda with, because those guys have really been great. The people also, the background team, those guys are as well doing so great. I thank my mother for being a leaning shoulder, because regardless of the challenges that I have faced throughout the journey, at least she has always heard, she has always understood me, and she's really been a great person. My siblings, my friends, the well-wishers, I thank you all, and I know we shall make it.
All
It is
right.
just the start. As I conclude, to the youth leaders, it has always been service above self. Like I've always promised, it's inclusion from exclusion, and it's progress over promises. I have delivered, and I believe I am the best candidate for the position. I thank my party, the party president and chairman as well, for the great things that they have done for the nation. I know they're still doing great. I as well call upon my fellow youth leaders and the country at large for His Excellency the President of Uganda, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, because we have the lively, our manifesto is practical. It is not like some other people that come up with words and that. We have not seen anything, but this is practical. The government has really done a lot, and I believe they still have great things that they're going to do for the country.
Okay.
I say all that for God and my country. Sabasaja Kabaka Wangale.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alex, Edward, Kennedy, Ike Musazi, for taking time to join us in this conversation. As I must say, it has been a very wonderful panel and a wonderful discussion and a wonderful debate. I have enjoyed myself. And to you, Ike and Alex, come Monday, 25th of August, for the primaries. Best of luck. May the best person win.
Thank you.
You're all tremendous gentlemen. To you, my brother Edward, when the time for primaries of NUP comes, may you also thrive, and may the best candidate win as well. And to you, my brother, I know you are an independent candidate. Just continue traversing and getting support. I know this is a college system. Otherwise, to our young people, I think one thing I should tell all of you is, if it doesn't involve us, it's not for us. So the time is now. Whatever endeavors you're up to, push for it, go for it, and best of luck. To Civic Space TV and Center for Constitutional Governance for making this possible, thank you very much. It's always nice and interesting having young people discuss and see the plans they have for this country, the plans they have for our generation, the plans they have for our country. And to the technical crew, Paul, Brittany, and Malcolm, for making this possible, thank you very much. And to you, our dear esteemed viewers, for always religiously following the Youth Roundtable. It's always interesting and very fun having you watch along and be with us all this time. Otherwise, go ahead, keep on subscribing, watch the show, like, make your comments, drop it down in the comment section. It will help us, of course, grow but also learn. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media channels. It's at Civic Space TV, at Center for Constitutional Governance, and of course at Onen, if you'd like to follow yours truly, your host. And much said, my name is Onen. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.